Awesome.
How do you make yours? You just put the wheat and the butter and saute it for like slowly for like 3 hours?
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 hours, depending on how dry it was, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, I just got the notification. Red Eye Report's live, guys. Here we go.
Bitch.
Are we doing it live?
Put on your best behavior.
We're doing it live.
Shit. I didn't do the assignment.
Here we go. In this episode of the Red Eye Report, we discuss the movie Us. We burn ants with a magnifying glass, and as usual, we pump up the jams. Pump it up.
Pump up the jams. Pump it up.
Pump it. All right. Us is about a family who gets attacked at their beach house. Here at the Red Eye Report, we're also a family. We may not have a fucking beach house, but we have familial roles.
Speak for your fucking self in that beach house there, bruh.
Mine is the big daddy. I'm the protector. Oracle is the mother of the Red Eye Report. He's the nurturer, the lover, if you will. Teddy is the firstborn child that we're actually proud of. And as you can guess, Ashtray is the fuck up.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking massive.
I'm the lovable rascal.
He's the wild card. He's not quite Menendez brothers level, but his credit score is pretty fucked. Right? And this is the Red Eye Report.
I forgot I left this light on.
Anyway, so we're talking about the movie Us. Written and directed by Jordan Peele, who is a great comedic genius. I don't know about genius. He's a fucking good comedian, you know. Writes good sketches anyway. And the movie, he wrote the movie. What?
I just said.
I didn't hear what you saying. Oh,
I said thank you, and you said he's a great comedian. I just came.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so he directed the movie Get Out. Have you guys seen Get Out?
Yes.
Yeah, he has. Oh, so you all seen it?
I watched Get Out sitting next to an old white couple. It was very fun.
So first off, which one did you like better? Don't tell me why. Just say why.
I actually liked Us better.
Okay.
I liked Us better.
I liked Get Out.
Okay.
It's been a little while since I've seen that.
I think I like Us better. It's a grander kind of idea of a story.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wait to see what
Get Out. I thought was a better movie. Thought it was more cohesive. I liked it better. But anyway, the reason that I chose this movie is because I feel there's a lot of thematic elements in it that he won't say for sure if this is why he did what he did.
Yeah.
But rest assured that everything in this movie is done for a reason. You know what I'm saying? He had a reason behind it. Okay, there's Teddy.
Yep.
Coming back.
There I go.
So there's 5 major themes that I guess I wanted to discuss. They may not be I guess 4 themes, and then I just want to talk about the use of sound, but these may not be right. These are just kind of theories that people have. So one theory is that it's more about the duality of human nature. So the recurring theme is symbolized by doppelgangers. So the reason why 1111, a double of doubles, pops up in a lot of places. So the concept of battling mirror images has been around since humans first started telling stories, from the Epic of Gilgamesh in ancient Mesopotamia to boss battles in Legends of Zelda or horror movies like The Shining. It's a trope. It's a timeless trope that horror movies have been using, and I think he does a good job of making that the centerpiece, but not necessarily the centerpiece that people think about or that people watch. They just think, oh, it's a horror movie about this family that's being attacked, but it's not. It's more of an allegory for the id and the ego, if you will, the duality of self. So and he goes, this guy breaking this down here goes through.
That's like that was my take on it.
Right, and he goes through like Jordan Peele said that he built the family as a family of ancient, like if you think of an ancient family like going on a quest, he's like, you have the protector, the dad, who's also kind of the fool. He does things with his heart. You have the daughter, the track fucking daughter, who's the warrior. She just fucking goes in. You know what I mean? She doesn't think about it. You have the son, which is the I forgot what it was that he said. And then the mother, the leader. The mother is the fucking head of the family or whatever. But he uses those as okay, so like let's say she's the warrior, so her fucking Umbra is her exact opposite. But she has a one-tracked mind, basically. She's you know what I mean? It's the id. The shadows are the id. And that kind of like you get what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the
primal
ones that don't
mind.
have any thought. They're the primal mind. Yeah. So like and that's that kind of leads into the other one about this. The next one is the unconscious and repression. So specifically Freud's theories of the ego and the id interpret as the shadow self. So without going into all the psychobabble that this fucking dude's using here, is basically the tethered are the physical projection of each character's unconscious or repressed fears, anxieties, and traumas. You know what I'm saying? Like the dad, like fucking was kind of just a goofball. You know what I mean? He was he just
he went on like a
bitch. Exact opposite was just the machine. The thing that just did whatever the mom told him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where her exact opposite, where's that fucking thing? So yes, to summarize here, the id and the ego describe two different elements of our personalities. The id is all our primordial urges like anger, hunger, the desire for sex, and fear of death. Then there's the ego, which is the people who lived up on top, the normal people, which develop in response to external world around them. The ego regulates the id's animalistic urges, so we can all be law-abiding citizens in a functioning society instead of primitive tribes killing each other all day. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't it a Jules Verne, based also of a Jules Verne novel? What it the time one wasn't it?
What, this store?
And
or like this,
well, no, he did go to a place where they had it was the same kind of thing. They had a civilization on top and civilization on the bottom. Never mind. Yeah, it was. I think it was in the time machine where he went to the future and he saw that. Okay. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So it's further explained in the movie, or the reason that they think this is one of the themes is the tethered are their double, or the halves. Like, so the two halves would make a whole, the id and the ego. That's symbolized by the scissors wanting to cut themselves apart from it. And they even give specific stuff like Kitty. Remember the white chick that fucking that was in The Handmaid's Tale or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, her double, the one that after they killed the white people, and she's up in the fucking thing, she's putting on lipstick and makeup and shit, and she takes the scissors and cuts herself.
Yeah,
because the other woman mentioned before that she had a facelift. She had a little bit of work done.
That's right.
It made her feel better about herself, which in response would make the id feel worse about itself. Because everything that the people did that was good up top, remember, like how that one chick explained it, was worse downstairs.
Worse downstairs,
exact opposite. So like that pain, that fucking cutting, you know, like it's just there's a lot of fucking levels in this movie that like you don't really think about.
Yeah, that facelift thing too. It's like that, you know, you get a facelift because you're not happy with how you look, and you're not happy with how you look is maybe that id's own, you know, that self-doubt is rooted in the id.
Right. Okay, so those were kind of the deeper ones. Now, the one that jumped out at me in us, even the name, just think of the name. Us means them at the beginning, but it turns into US, I think. That's what he was saying, the duality.
The duality,
because really the movie is almost about systemic oppression. He's using the shadows as an allegory for fucking black people, basically. How when they came up and she was like, we're Americans. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's our time, motherfucker. This is what's going to happen. Like, we're coming for your shit. They got sick of being the fucking heels of society. And that's, that's quite obvious throughout Get Out. Everything.
Yeah, I guess I didn't think of it like that. But yeah, they are kind of like, you're taking like race out of the equation, and it's just like it's a whole subclass that
there is no exactly. There's no race involved in it because you know what I mean?
When I saw it first in the theaters, I initially thought it was like, because a lot of hip hop and African American writers will talk about this duality, which you could also say like any human has to deal with that duality. And but then when you see like the white families, like doppelgangers come out, it's like it's not just this family. Like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, it was going on. I was telling Oracle that before. It kind of turned the movie into
it did.
It basically, it was a mindfuck for me because I thought she was haunted or something. Like the mother,
that's what I
like
thought too.
She had some sort of like curse or something in this supernatural alternative family. And then it's like when you see like, oh, this shit's happening.
Yeah, that was definitely a turning point when the white family, they got attacked. I totally didn't see that coming. I thought that coming. I thought they were gonna like try to, the other family, the black family, was gonna show up and they're gonna have like a standoff or something. And I think that would be like
exactly. No, he set it up like that. He's tired of fuck. And if you think about the way that unfolded, that's exactly what everyone thought.
I didn't follow it.
Because that would be a typical way to end that kind of movie. Because you think that. Because when I checked it, when they ran to the house, I checked it. I was like, "There's an hour left." I'm like, "They gonna hold up in this house for like an hour," and then that's what. And then I was like, "Holy shit!" So,
it's just the way the scene worked too, because you see them leave and they're like, oh, okay, we gotta go fucking wherever, and they have friends in the area. So okay, we'll cut to the friends. They're gonna have a discussion, and then these people are gonna show up bloody, and then fucking, the rest of the crazy people are gonna show up and kill them. But the way the camera worked, remember how it panned up to the fucking balcony, and those fucking daughters, like doppelgangers, just came out of nowhere and stabbed them, and it was over in almost an instant, and this chick is on the floor fucking gurgling and shit, dying. You know what I mean? Like it went from fucking 0 to 100 to 0, and then all of a sudden you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, what?
Like they have doppelgangers too?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, and it really did something interesting. I noticed during that scene, especially, like you would see the violent thing happen, and I think in a lot of other films it would be dramatized a lot more in terms of the killing, but instead in this one you just kind of just see like the blood, or you just see like a quick hit and then it's over. And then it just moves on. It's like it wasn't the focal point.
There isn't much gore.
I mean, even like especially like one of my favorite scenes was when the daughter was running from her doppelganger, and it kind of frustrated me a little bit because it's like, look, black people ain't gonna do this shit. It's only for the movie. When she looked under the car when the chick went down, I'm like, the car is parked on a curb. All right, you know that shit is a black chick. All right, she ain't coming in that car. She ran around the sides. But anyway, this guy comes out and tells her to get off the car, and as the doppelganger is walking up to him to stab him, the other black chick is taking off, and the camera kind of pans her, like come around the car, and as she's running down the street, the camera pans, and you see dude get stabbed, and she's like, "Fuck this, I'm out." It was good. I really enjoy how they showed how they adapted so quickly. And kind of like you were saying, how is
it was very pragmatic. It didn't have any. Other than a few moments where there were accidents.
I'm sorry, that's what the kid was in the family, the magician.
Okay.
But like, it definitely, and I think I read an interview or heard one with Jordan Peele where, and like this might have even been for Get Out and not Us, but it was him talking about the fact that he's like, well, I like to write my dialogue like what the hell would I say if I was in this situation?
Right.
Like a regular person, like, the corny, stupid thing, tropes that people do in horror movies, like, don't go in there. He's like, yeah, when you're a black person in a movie theater, that's why we yell, because that's a stupid thing to do. Like, don't go in that door. That's why we're yelling at the theater. And it's like, this is how I would react for real life. And that's like how I wanted to make the dialogue. And it was very good. Like, especially this
it really was,
first confrontation where he's like, can I help you? He's like,
that was pretty freaky.
And they just didn't say or do anything. And then he had just
then they just take off and he starts walking toward him real fast. He's like, oh shit, what?
Once he threatened the bat and he's like, oh, hey.
Right.
I liked in the water, and Teddy actually texted it earlier when he's like, hold to the goddamn left. Or veer to the goddamn left. Like, oh shit. Fucker.
Now I will say that so going back to that, where they go over to the white person's or the white family's kind of mansion house or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I think it was an Airbnb or something, because they said, we got to be out of here by 10.
Okay.
That's 10 in the morning, yeah.
And Kitty was killed, and she's dragging herself across the floor over to the husband. And the guy comes, like the shadow version comes up to her and does this kind of like fake out kind of thing, like reaching out to grab her.
Like he's gonna help her up.
High five to slide.
But that, that kind of really threw me off a little bit, because in no other part of the show or the movie was that type of behavior modeled by anybody else. I felt like there were points where I didn't necessarily understand the rules of the world.
Well,
like
think about how the dude acted, though.
Yeah, that whole time he acted kind of goofy and funny.
No, the actual guy. Think about how he acted.
The human, he was kind of one of those, like, hey, and when he's like, no, I don't want to go check out the sound.
Right.
Like, I'm comfortable. Like, See, and you could even see, like you were saying, with the husband, was it Gabe, the father? Like his doppelganger also had a few almost kind of like kind of seemed a little derpy,
right?
Clumsy.
But then they're just like,
they were all derpy because they weren't. They're just the animalistic.
That's the thing. Like, and why would the animal kind of have this like the mind?
Well, he showed it later too, when he was even going after the dude after she hit him with that fucking that poker in the face. Remember how
he kept coming,
and like he was acting all weird and shit to her. So I don't know if that's just the way that the actor wanted to play him, or
maybe I don't know. It kind of threw me off because all the other characters made sense to me, but then I saw that and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like
what the?
Yeah, doing that, because it was like he was taking more agency than the other ones. Like when the dad,
I suppose,
when he was out, because they're just making like these fucked up like cave people noises or whatever. They're like, it's just kind of freaky, but they're almost like zombie-like
across the lake.
Yeah, they seem zombie-like, and I guess I wasn't necessarily thinking about like the ego and the id and things like that specifically, so that kind of makes more sense. But with this movie, there were things where I started to think about the rules of that world, especially getting into the underground world, and I'm like, wait a second. For one, you can't survive on rabbits alone.
Right? Yeah,
it's documented that you will die.
You die if you
just eat rabbits.
Yeah.
And just some of the other things, like, wait a second, like, who's making all the materials for this shit? Or
where are the scissors, the glove, and the red outfits come from? If they had to mimic everybody, I mean, I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn more about. It, dude.
Well,
but that's one of the reasons I like this movie more, because he can do. I'm kind of hoping he'll do like an M. Night Shyamalan kind of thing, where he'll have maybe a prequel or something that explains the underworld or the other or whatever it was.
Yeah,
how it became.
Things like that. They show people.
He seems kind of like a move on kind of guy. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm not saying do exactly like it, like Shyamalan kind of thing, but I mean like but have a something that tells another movie that explains this. Or links it somehow, because I mean I would really like to. I think you can do a lot with that underground world, because they showed in the flashbacks they had.
Well, maybe those scissors and jumpsuits and stuff were made by the people who are tethered to people making jumpsuits and scissors up top. You know, like who knows?
Oh my God. And the thing is, before the movie started,
they show people like they're on a roller coaster. You know, like whoa.
Yeah, I mean that looked really cool.
Yeah,
but you have to imagine if this is all over America. Which is
right, but it is all over America because it was.
So there's obviously going to be people mimicking people working in factories. Like, think about people who have to mimic someone who's.
Well, how did they get them there? How did they get the fucking scissors to the people that wanted them?
No,
right.
Fucking Amazon Prime, man. There's got to be a shadow version.
Maybe they're mimicking miners, and they're also making their own mines, underground mines.
I've got it. So what? Wish, you know, the Wish, that's the like Facebook. That is the shadow fucking version of Prime. That's how they got the fucking fucked up shit.
Don't knock it, bro. You got some nice cheap shit on there.
That's true.
What do you think I got your Christmas present?
Anyway, okay.
Yeah, it was an interesting enough world, though, where I wanted to know more. I guess that's kind of the thing.
I mean, right. I mean, that's my thing. I'm like, I enjoy the story, but there's so much there's another story about the underneath world that he could actually tell. And I think with his form of storytelling, it'd be pretty cool. And I hope he comes out with something like that, or something they're in. So yeah.
Okay, so the last theme, I guess, one of the major ones is the guilt of privilege. So it's about unjust suffering, I guess, in a way. It's also about unearned privilege. They're two sides of the same coin, not unlike the doubles themselves. Us digs beyond the simple horror of the tethered doppelgangers and into the tragedy of their existence, which is that ultimately they aren't any different from their surface world counterparts. They even share a single soul. So Zora and Jason didn't get to grow up in a nice home with loving parents because they deserved those things more than Umbra and Pluto did, the underworld kids. They were just lucky enough to be born on the right side of the tunnel walls. There's no rhyme or reason to why Kitty gets to nip and tuck her way to the superficial perfection while Dahlia bears the scars of those same procedures. So, like, it's kind of how... have you ever felt that way? Like, why did I get to be born?
Oh yeah,
in a country where
ever since I was a little kid,
I don't have to worry
always
about being beheaded. You know,
ever since I was a little kid, I always wondered, boy, so why was I lucky to be born here and not in some country in Africa starving, like those commercials on TV?
Because it was God's plan, you bastard. Stop questioning it.
All right, shut up, Drake. God's plan. God's plan.
Yeah, I've wondered it, but I mean, you can't really explain it, or I mean, you can't make yourself feel shitty about it. So,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think
let's go use some plastic.
Honestly, being a white American, and growing up in a place where there were no African Americans, and then moving to a place where there are a lot more African Americans. It took me a while to, like, at first I was feeling like really, because you see all this shit on the news, right? Like fucking dudes getting shot.
We're not all dangerous, bro.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
But what I'm talking about is just like the social injustice of it, where it's like,
is that why you wouldn't shake my hand when we first met?
Yep. I'm like, man,
no, that's the chicken grease, dude.
Right. But talking about that, and thinking about like, fuck, I'm a white guy. I don't have to worry about this shit. And African Americans in this country are being systematically oppressed and straight up,
subconsciously a lot of times.
Right. And straight up lynched fucking 60 years ago, 70 years ago. That there's definitely I mean, if you're not a piece of shit anyway, there is a subconscious kind of guilt. Absolutely. That I think is pervasive in that it is definitely felt. And the only way to kind of confront that is to talk about it and to talk about these things and talk about these issues. So I know personally, when I would see all this shit on the news of fucking African Americans, black people getting totally fucked over, until I was kind of more exposed and talking about these things and talking about the history of this country, I felt definitely uncomfortable about that and about the oppression. So that's my whitey.
Comfortable? Fuck, I felt fucking great.
You want to feel better about it? Try to defend yourself on Xbox with those fucking.
With white.
No, I ain't gonna apologize for being white.
No, yeah, you don't have to apologize. You just gotta recognize. You gotta recognize that extra.
But there's there's a lot of people.
Oh, I do.
My good, but I'm not saying you don't. But I'm just in general.
Right.
Generalities. As my good buddy put it, being white is like always having $5 in your pocket. And he was like a road kid, or like traveled on, trains and shit and like, begged on the street corner to get enough money to eat. But he's like, being white is always like having $5. Like you got a little leg up. Even if you're, dumb and poor white, you still have a leg up on the dumb, poor black man.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You just like cops will treat you more respectfully. Like you can get away with more.
Right.
I agree.
Even if you're a piece of shit.
I've never been
a real
white
piece of
man,
shit.
So I wouldn't know the benefits of you fellas. But
yeah, sorry, Teddy. We really wish you could join our club.
I mean, yeah, but it's
I'm an asshole.
I don't. I like it.
But honestly, the last dude we let in was Tiger, and that motherfucker freaked out on painkillers and
fucked a bunch of
porn star and fucked his life up. So
a bunch of them.
I don't know if
fucked a woman in a Denny's parking lot. That was the most atrocious one I heard. Between two cars, seriously. Like that's how much he was a sex addict.
Dude's arguably the fucking greatest golfer of all time. Yeah, and he's out here. He married a fucking Swedish supermodel. This dude's out here fucking gross porn stars.
Was it you, Mystic, saying that like you had heard Tiger Woods was a terrible tipper?
Oh,
I don't think
I remember.
So. I never heard
that somewhere.
I think I remember hearing it somewhere. Maybe it wasn't you.
Yeah,
well, I mean, he is.
It makes sense if he's screwing. If he's screwing a woman in between two cars at a Denny's parking lot, it's like, why would Tiger Woods be at a Denny's?
First off, why would this motherfucker be at a Denny's? I mean, right?
Yeah.
Probably because he he maybe wore something to try to change his look, but he took this like woman to a Denny's and then fucked her between two cars.
Oh.
Like, it didn't say it wasn't
20% at a Denny's too.
Yeah, right. 20% at a Denny's is about $3.50.
Yeah, fuck, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right.
Damn, Tiger. Anyway, all right. So the last thing I want to talk about is which I thought was the best part of the movie, and it's a lot different than most horror movies, I guess, if you will, is the soundtrack and the use of sound.
Yeah, that was very good.
He had the same melody throughout the whole thing. Whenever certain shit happened,
it's that spider. Yeah, the I got.
And it's the melody from
by the Loonies, no doubt.
Yeah, and that's that was something else that somebody else pointed out too about the duality, was that it was by the Loonies and there's two of them. I was like, that's stretching. But
yeah, I think it's more like the dad said, this is a classic. Like,
yeah, exactly. I think it's because he did throw other shit into it too. Remember at the beginning when they were doing the flashback to '86 and they were at that fucking. They were at that fucking carnival thing, the boardwalk or whatever.
Yeah, what was
and they said, "Oh, there's a movie. Don't go down the shore. There's a movie being filmed over there." That movie was Lost Boys, which is one of the favorite movies of Jordan Peele. And he said that's why he put it in there. But anyway, so there's little things in there. Like, and when the two kids are in the closet, there was another 11-11 on one of the board games. Like, you could see it between their heads. You know what I'm saying?
Is it
That's
when
what I
they
was
were
saying.
looking at
The
each other?
image. Yeah, when they were looking at each other.
The well, the sound too with the girl and with the mom. There was a really cool thing going on where they would isolate the sound, and they would just play like that really in this some sort of focused sound really intensely, whether that was birds or whether that was
Yeah,
a
you're
ride.
right. I noticed
Footsteps and shit.
Right.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
at the beginning. It might have been when she was initially going down that boardwalk. It was almost like a sound of like flies, like that kind of buzz of a bunch of flies.
Right.
And maybe it was because I was stoned, but I'm like, I never remembered how prominent that was.
It was super prominent. I mean, it was definitely an artistic decision.
Right.
And it, they were pretty aggressive with it, which I definitely appreciated. I think
as a
sometimes,
sound nerd who records,
yeah, absolutely,
snails farting.
Yeah, well, and also sometimes if there's just too many layers of something, you don't get the chance to necessarily catch the subtlety of it, if you're watching it the first time. But this was
like
pretty.
When you watch like Transformers or something,
right? Yeah, I'm sure the sound is
87
fantastic.
layers of fucking metal clinging together and
exactly
dinosaur in the background or something.
Right. So yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I'd say that the sound was probably my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah,
I thought it was done very well.
And even remember at the beginning when she's like, I called the police, they're 14 minutes out. He's like, 14 minutes? And then like later on when the white people are getting killed, she's like, call the police. She's like fuck the police by NWA.
Fuck them.
Oh yeah.
Fuck the police and shit's fucking going off. And that was great.
One of my favorite parts or favorite lines was when he finally retreated back with the bat and locked the door, and then the I think it was the mother doppelganger grabbed the hide a key, and he was like hide a key. Oh my god! She's like, oh no, the hide a key. Hide a key. What kind of white shit is that?
Yeah, that was good. The family was very likable.
Well, yeah, they're very real.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they were, was real. And that's
right.
It felt, you know what I mean? Normal.
Yeah. I never thought about it whether, or maybe it was like a part of one of those or just explanations you were reading, Mystic, but like the idea at the end of like how the whole point was to do this Hands Across America idea, which got implanted by her when she was right before she was like basically switched under there. And is that maybe kind of like you could say an analogy to like the people trying to do like this thing for a good cause? It's like Hands Across America to raise awareness for cancer.
But and I remember really knowing what it's for.
Well, yeah, and I remember thinking to myself, like, God, if you try to pull that off, there's actually like if you could pull that off, there would be a line of people that like at some point, whether it be railroad tracks or traffic, like you'd have to keep separating to let things move through at some point, no matter which way you try to zigzag across the country. And because of, I was just thinking of that kind of logistical mess. Is it an analogy that id route decides like what they need to do to get everybody together is have this good cause, and that good cause though ended them like coming out of the sewers and butchering everyone to make this Hands Across America as an analogy of like, oh, when we're trying to do something good and charitable, I think that we end up making
that had anything to do with it.
What I think it was.
Well, what do you think the Hands Across America was for then? Like,
because I think when she got switched, she was wearing a Hands Across America shirt. It was 1986. So those people have no access to the outside world. You know what I'm saying? They think that this thing was sent there from the upper world You know what I mean? Like they're just
yeah,
the
okay.
fucking idiots that they have no. I guess.
But I wasn't saying like that was their motive. I was saying just like a metaphor for the fact that like these good intentions.
I'm sure there was a metaphor for something
like,
there.
Yeah, I felt that one kind of missed.
I think it was a metaphor for all of those underground people standing together. That was their symbol. They're going to come out because they wanted to be they wanted to be untethered. Like I said, everything that good happened up there to their doppelganger bad happened to them. So she gave them the Hands Across America idea. They all came out to be untethered because it was their time to be out, and to show solidarity. They did Hands Across America because, like you said, they were the idiots.
Yeah, so. I guess well, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah,
they could make a mean jump.
But I guess it could. I mean,
solid pair.
It could make sense though. He might have thought that like they'll come out for some kind of cause, but not really know what they're fucking doing. Like they're just let's do Hands Across America. Yay, I'm in. You know what I mean?
That was the only, and that's why I was saying an analogy of like rallying a mass of people. Yeah, it's a good cause. Right. Do you want to donate $1 to save the children's fund? When you're paying for your gas, it's like fuck the Save the Children's Fund. Like they just use that as a write-off.
Or like at fast food restaurants, dude. You go to Panda Express, they're like, you want to donate $1 to Children's Hospital? Motherfucker, no, I donate fucking money there every 3 months when I take my daughter there. So go fuck yourself. Right. But you said you saw it in the theaters, right, Ashtray?
Yeah.
So that dance scene at the end, which I thought was the best whole scene, or not scene, but the whole sequence in the movie.
Yeah, that was cool.
When they were fighting and it kept cutting to them ballet dancing, like jump cuts and shit.
Yeah.
But the way that the sound was fucking interspersed in the fucking theater, remember when it would hit like the orchestra would be like whoa, whoa, whoa. And like it was designed to shake certain parts of the theater, certain times.
Yeah, it definitely had.
It's fucking cool, man.
Like that use of sound without it just being like a traditional score.
Yeah, I actually regret not seeing it in the theaters now.
I thought it was just cool because it was like.
Because I think that would have been a cool movie to see in the movie theater.
Just the way it was mixed.
Yeah. It was very dark for a lot of it too.
Yeah. Being it back in the theater.
When they were so yeah, like in the theater that was fucking awesome. What can I say?
I thought it was a great movie.
That's why I think I like it more than
second attempt at filmmaking. That's he put an incredible amount of subcontext into this movie, and it's I can't wait to see what he does next, man. Fucking
yeah, because he has
talented
one more,
dude
right?
for
as
sure.
far as his horror trilogy.
I think he said, he wanted to do one more horror.
That's awesome.
He can do comedy.
How old is he? Does anybody know roughly? Is he in his 30s, 40s?
He's got to be in his 40s, I think.
Yeah.
He's married to this white comedian. You ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The chick who plays Gina.
Really?
Gina?
Fucking secretary chick.
God, I hate that chick.
I'm dead serious.
God, I hate that bitch. She's the worst part of it.
Travis says that it's.
But just think of their personalities together, like his comedy and her. You know what I mean? Like,
probably
she's totally in line with that fucking. With the way that his.
What was the character's name? Gina and Reno, or not Reno 911.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It's like Lisa Perletti. I don't know what the fuck her name is.
Yeah, I tried to watch one of her stand-ups. I got through like 15 seconds.
Yeah, it wasn't very. It wasn't very. Stand-ups were not very good. I thought she was funny.
I recognize her face. She's been in.
Yeah, a lot of those Netflix stand-ups.
But really, Jordan Peele's married to her.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
That's what I thought too when I saw that.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, you can never tell when like shit clicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like her on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think she kind of.
I think she's also
human chemistry
because of the character that she's playing on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I think they make her look not as hot.
Yeah.
Well, and she is an obnoxious character, right?
Yeah.
That is her character.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's one thing, like I actually admire when actors play characters that I despise because it's
that you end up hating.
You're good at making someone despicable.
Right. Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Right. Well, and that's what why I always thought Daniel Day-Lewis was such a great fucking actor. Make you hate him, but
Anthony Hopkins
love it at the same time. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all right. Moving on to the What's Sexy section of the show. This is where we tell you what's sexy, and Ashtray's titties are what's sexy right now. Teddy, lovers in a dangerous space-time.
All right, so I've had this game for a while. I talked about it way back when it came out, 2015. But I was playing it by myself. It's meant to be played up to 4 players. The more players you have, the easier and better it is. But you have to communicate because the ship has 4 guns, 1 steering wheel, and one shield that rotates around the ship so you can protect everybody, and then 1 super gun and a map and stuff. But it takes coordination. If you're playing by yourself, you only get a cat. You get yourself, and then you get an AI animal, which is like a cat, a dog, a penguin, or something to help you out. But it's extremely hard, especially when you get up into higher levels. But I've been playing with my son and my girlfriend. We need 1 more person. It is only couch co-op, which is kind of despicable. But it is a fun family game. I love playing games with people, but I don't really have anybody come over because all my friends are married and shit. I don't get to play couch co-op. And my son's finally getting old enough to where I can start playing. He can actually start contributing to playing these games. Because he's contributing to playing these things, so it's actually fun to be able to be. It's Mystic making fun of me if you're talking about video games.
You got to train him up, man.
Farting.
It's actually really. It's a fun, cute little game. You got.
Is it on all systems?
It's on a. I know it's on Xbox. It's on Steam and it's on Switch.
Yeah. It's on Steam.
It's cute. But you gotta get there's a spaceship, a space station shaped like a heart gets destroyed. You gotta get these 4 reactors and pretty much bring love back to the galaxy before the toxicity.
Can you play it 1 player or it is a?
You can't play it 1 player, but like I said, it is difficult because there's like 7 stations.
Bring love back to the galaxy.
I mean, it's a fucking cool little game.
Tape right there.
It's a great family game, and I'm having a lot of fun playing with my girlfriend and my son. You should check it out. It's pretty cool.
Brings the blood, baby.
You know, we're living in the golden age of like independent game publishing. Now that like
I'm excited.
So many platforms
I'm excited about.
Well, yeah, the creation
and it can be done cheaper.
Is so much cheaper now, so accessible. You know,
creation software and services like Game Pass actually gives those developers a lot of creative freedom in terms of making financial decisions. Like, they own, what's that? Double Fine. They come out with all those weird ass games and shit. There's no way that studio would be able to just keep on pumping out those weird ass games that, aren't going to be like a huge commercial success. But Microsoft has a lot of fucking money behind that. So I think the model of doing it like that and supporting that, and I think it's just better for everyone. We get to play these awesome games.
Yeah.
Game designers, they can make a living doing it. Platforms, Microsoft, for instance, they get to have all of these titles and get people into their ecosystem. So yeah, it is a really cool time to be a gamer.
And Oracle gets to say papers, please.
Yeah.
Papers, please. Yeah.
All right. Killing Eve season 2, Oracle.
Killing Eve. Have you guys watched Killing Eve at all?
I know. I've seen the trailer and shit. It looked pretty cool, but I never watched it.
So, Killing Eve is
Netflix, Amazon. What is it?
So it's on Hulu.
Hulu.
It's a BBC show, actually. So Killing Eve, basically, there's this master assassin, Villanelle, who's kind of this really odd Russian woman that has like a mysterious past, and she infiltrates all these different places. She's a master of disguise, master manipulator. And the show is Eve Polanski, who is working for the MI6. She's trying to track down Villanelle. And they're both obsessed with one another. So they're both kind of fucked up in the head. And the writing, the acting is just phenomenal in this show. I mean, it's amazing. And Villanelle, she's just this, this small blonde woman, but she's such a predator. And you just watch how she manipulates people and gets them to do what she wants, or puts them in a vulnerable position where she can fuck with their heads or kill them. And it's amazing to watch that. So Killing Eve, I'm watching season 2. Season 1 was fantastic. Season 2 is really starting to heat up. I think I'm 5 episodes in, and it is really good. Excellent writing.
Word. All right, me. Rivers of Nile, which is a band. Hold on a second. What the fuck's this up? All right, there we go.
Wham wobble.
That video I have in there is from. It's just a video they were just making fun of those old 70s videos anyway. That song's pretty good. But that whole album, their newest album, where the owl fucking whatever, I don't know what it was fucking called. Whatever that song is called, that's the title track. But it's different. It's heavy as shit, but it's fucking different. It's got a saxophone, keyboards, fucking trumpets and shit in it. It's fucking, you know what I mean? Like there's like jazz breakdowns where they're just doing fucking like 7/8 timing with like fucking little scat drumming and shit. You know what I mean? Like for a metal band to be doing shit like this, it's cool. To be different.
Yeah, the saxophone part was actually, I was like, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I always thought Rivers of Nile, I guess I always thought they were like a death metal band or something.
Sounds like they would be.
Maybe I'm thinking of Nile.
You're thinking of Nile, N-I-L-E,
Okay.
yeah. This is a fairly new band. This is their second album, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think their first one was only like an EP. But yeah, their bass player is incredible. Their fucking drummer is incredible. It's guitar players are, they're decent. Keyboard players, cool. But it adds a whole new element because it's.
Don't forget that tambourine man.
Yeah, right. But there's there's cool songs on it, man. Just other styles involved.
So you got their album?
Yeah. Well, I downloaded it on Amazon. I have Amazon Music, so I just downloaded it.
Yeah, that's what I use.
Right on, Ashtray. Silver Bullion.
Silver Bullion. So, me and my economic conspiracy, the world's going to fall apart and the money's going to go to shit. Tendencies.
You bought Silver Bullion?
Well,
yeah.
I wanted to understand what. Well, hear me out. Yeah. So I was like, they talk about investing in gold when the economy goes to shit. Gold or silver, precious metals. But like, you look on the internet and you just get all kinds of fucking a lot of it seems scammy, right?
Oh yeah.
So
like those commercials.
Yeah.
Send us your gold. We'll send
join.
You cash.
Yeah. Right. Give us a gold. We'll give you cash or pay for ITM trading or whatever. So I went to if you lived in Madison, Barkley, you might remember those commercials at Jim's Coins in Hilldale.
Maybe
it was like these radio. It was like always. It's like awesome. Still to this day. That's the jiggle on the radio.
Love local commercials like that.
They've been because Jim's Coins has been there for like I don't know, like close to 40 years, I think, over 30, and like on their old like shit website that still looks like it was made in 1995.
It probably was.
Right. Yeah.
Like they also have a link that says like, yeah, we cater to people who want to invest in bullion. And so I went in this last weekend and I was like, went in and chatted with them. I'm like, so tell me, what is investing in bullion mean? Like, what is it? It's like, oh, well, basically, so like when you go to a coin shop, there's coins. So like this year, what I ended up picking up is a silver dollar, 2014. It's 1 ounce of pure silver. Well, 99.999. And basically what this is it's like just trying to get it as close to the spot price that it is on the market. If you're someone who would just want silver for silver's sake, you don't give a shit about a fancy collector coin or this old, this coin is made in this certain date by this mint. You just want the metal. You go for things like this. But then there are people who go for those fancy coins because they're also pure silver, but they were made and minted in a different market. So then there's like a premium above the metal content price itself, which is like, I don't give a shit about that. So I looked at gold, right? I was like, oh, I was like, I could maybe invest about 1,000.
1,000?
1,500. As far as like what I have for, savings that.
You bought
like
1,000 silver dollars?
An ounce of gold right now at 1,800. So like he showed me what I could get for 1,500, and it's like basically like a 3/4 ounce. I look at him like, oh man, that looks kind of fucking shabby. It's like, and then so also I wasn't really aware of what the price of silver was, but at the time, silver's $18 an ounce. So it's like, oh shit, I could get this big fucking like two-face coin for basically after tax $21. I got myself some bullion.
So what are you gonna do with that when the zombies come to attack? What are you gonna do?
You said the coin was worth $18, right? But you paid 21 or 22 for it.
Yeah,
how is that a fucking
no? $18 is what the metal price is in the market. There's always a premium for whichever way the metal has been minted.
So you're
so
just waiting for it to appreciate.
Well, no, it's just one of those things like
hustled, bro.
They sell you some magic beans too.
That dude made $3 off a year.
I mean, really, bro.
That's the way it always is, dumbass.
Well, then what are we even talking about? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with that?
No, well, the thing is, I'm just gonna hold on to it. But I thought it was like shit for $20. Get a piece of silver. Fuck, I spent $20 on stupider shit. And who knows if it really goes shit.
Right about
so
that.
you just wanted a piece of silver,
when silver. Okay, you got to market price. The market price at the day is different than the actual price of your, like when you say you go to sell your coin or your brick. You can get it in plates and big rounds. There's all kinds of crazy shit these people nerd out on. Like this is coin collectors also stack silver and gold. And the thing is, like, if it's a special coin, whether it be silver or gold, it's that extra valuable when you go to sell it.
Gotcha.
But when this is $18 on the market price, it doesn't take much for it to have to double. It would only have to go to 36.
Yeah, 36, man.
Yeah.
Or 42 because you paid 21 for it. But
Assault.
Well, okay. So how quickly does the price change on silver? Like, what was the price of silver?
Oh no, the price of silver will only go up when the stock market starts to really go down. Like that's the thing is like now is time. Like shit. Well, I was like fuck. $18 an ounce for the market price. That means I can get like.
So if you bought a shit ton of that and the stock market crashed,
and then all of a sudden
quadruple in price,
if it doubled or tripled, it's kind of like
you go out.
It is a way of investing. The thing with why they call it bullion is like it is when you're investing in a precious metal, whether it be gold, silver, or platinum. But you're investing it in a physical sense because you can invest in these ITM trading companies where like you have paper gold because you're investing in them and they have real gold, supposedly. But if there's a run on banks and everybody's starting to pull their money out and they're like, oh, sorry, like, we can't actually give you the actual gold you supposedly have. There are like conspiracy theorists too are like the only way to really know you own your precious metal is to actually have it in hand, which is what bullion is. And I thought, fuck, for $21, this was after tax too.
And how many of those did you buy?
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah,
where do you live? Where do you live so I can come in and steal your fucking future coin?
Steal my one future coin? Yeah, you're gonna come after the economy goes to shit, and you'll be like, "Damn, I should have bought some silver."
Well, fucking Travis apparently is a fucking expert on this because he's been lighting up our chat.
I can't get our shit to open up.
So he said that in 2009, silver was $40 an ounce.
Ha!
But that's when
Yeah,
the stock
dog
market
down.
was fucking shit.
Oh, I
Well,
suppose.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Oh,
Is like
okay, yeah.
Right.
now is the time you buy it when it's cheap.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right.
Because you buy it when it's cheap, it's easier. Like I was saying, like when the number's low like that, it doesn't take much
So
for all of a sudden
literally-
your investment doubled.
The last like 14 minutes have just been spent. You just talking.
Yeah,
When you could
about
have
a
just said,
fucking coin.
buy this when you're cheap. When it's
Yeah.
cheap. And then
I guess I thought you understood that
stock
basic
market went
concept
down.
of investing.
No, I'm retarded, dude. I'm dumb. I don't know.
All right.
I don't understand
You got hustled.
shit.
Anyways,
What's funny?
hustled.
Whatever things like that. I don't get it.
let's just say this. I would rather
We get
have
it.
this
We get it. Moving on.
for $21 than to have a half a size this for 15 grand of my own savings. Gold, you know. So anyways, moving on.
Ryan? 1,500.
Or yeah, 1500.
Yeah, where's that coin? Where? Hope you can hang on to that bullion
Anyway,
during the zombie apocalypse as I'm saving your ass with my swords.
Yeah, right. You'll all be coming.
Ooh, shit.
Ashtray got silver. It's the only thing people will take anymore.
All right, fuck what you think. Me, I'm going to talk about weed legalization. Weed legalization is not my fuck what you think. It's the fact that Wisconsin is so goddamn backwards that South Dakota is going to vote on weed legalization here pretty soon.
Yeah.
So we're
that's when we know
literally
you're fucked up.
behind South Dakota.
Yeah. That's not good.
Like, we don't even have medical. You know what I mean? Like, people
Right.
around here are still like, "Oh, these stupid potheads, eh? Hey, crack me another beer, eh? You know, like fucking, let's go out and ride the snowmobiles, eh? fucking shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my pot. I want to be able to walk down the street and fucking grab a bag.
So when do you think this cannot last forever? Well, first question. Do you think that there will be a time in the United States when weed is completely legalized?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
When do you
because
think
I
that
what it,
happens?
I think
Yeah,
within
like-
5 years.
5 years for the entire United States?
I don't
Yeah.
think
Boy.
I think you're fishing. I think about
it's-
15.
maybe
it's going-
10.
It's going to.
It's
Dude,
it's
when
about
did
15,
when,
20 years.
No. When did
Yes.
Colorado implement it?
Damn, seems
I
like a
don't
long
know.
time ago now. Like 10 years
I don't
ago?
know. Look at somebody look it
well,
up.
it
You're-
wasn't
you're-
10
you're
years
at a
ago.
computer.
California.
You're at a computer, Ashtray. Type that shit in. Google it up, baby.
I'm on a computer. What am I the only one on the fucking computer here?
Yeah, you are the only one on the computer. I'm
When
on
did
Xbox.
Colorado vote in legalize weed? All right, Detective Ashtray.
2014.
Thank you, Mystic.
Legalization in January of 2014.
That is 5 years. Damn.
5
It's
years. 11. The
Old.
11th state just went live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's 11 in 5 years. That shit, and it went from, and it was just Colorado for like the first 2 or 3.
yeah. We still got
You know
39
what I'm
left to go.
Yeah, but it's growing exponentially quickly. You know what I
Right.
mean? And once it gets to a fucking critical mass, the government has no choice. They're gonna have to. Better.
Well, also, like these poor ass states are gonna have to realize, like, well, because we can't convince anyone to raise any taxes, but we can add a sin tax.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, for like they would do for
It's
liquor
like they
and
do
gambling.
alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah.
and gambling. Cigarettes.
Cigarettes. That's why you got to go buy your
Anyway.
smokes across state lines and smoke.
Yeah,
them.
right. Anyway, fuck
If you're
us down.
under 21, you got to fucking buy them from a dealer now. Because
All right.
That was
Ashtray,
actually kind of
math-
surprising.
Math with your resellers.
Oh, Matthews, yeah. So, went to one of my distributors. Who I will not mention name, but
Are resellers like dumb sailors? Like retarded?
yep. So you find
Yeah,
it on
exactly.
stock, yeah, right.
exactly what they are.
If you're looking to find a dope to bugger, Now, as one of the the distributors who sell my lights, I'm bringing a new set, and I share them with one of the managers, who's a good friend of mine, so he could pick out what ones he wanted before they even went into the box. Because they're the people who sell my lighters, like they do the work of telling people what the hell they are and convincing them. And anyways, the owner then came and grabbed. So the manager picked out 4, and the set has 60. The owner is like, oh, hey, yeah, okay, here's, and he's like, oh yeah, these invoices are, I'm not sure how I missed these. It's like, yeah, you got 2 past dues. I mean, I don't think I'd live on this, but it's like, here's your past dues, you got to pay these. And then he comes back though, like he's kind of, he's a really nice guy, but he goes back with the bag, and the manager says, yeah, I took 4 out of there. I'm going to pay for them on my way out. He comes back to the, he comes back in and he's like, well, there's only 56 in here. And the manager's like, yeah, I got these 4. I mean, no, we did the count. There's 4 less than 56. So it's like 52. And I'm like, really? I'm like, okay. He's like, well, these are highly, easily stolen item because they're on the counter. And, like we like to count these in the camera to make sure like none of them disappear. I'm like, all right, well, bring them back. Like, I've got the photo spread, because what he didn't realize is that every set I take a spread photo set of each 5 lighters as a group. So there's 12 photos. Like, I have that in my phone. Like, that's a record that I know I have 60 lighters. So like, bring that bag back here. And so we laid them all out. I'm like, we can